Hey there guys, and welcome back to Alex Invest. Today the markets were absolutely crazy. This morning pre-market we started off, everything was like 10% down. FCell was like 10% down. Tesla was like 10% down. Mountain Valley MD may have been more than 10% down. We came all the way to 0.65. And that was obviously when market opened because there is no pre-market there. But most things started to really rally once the market actually opened, and this was nice for me because FCell, I got options on FCell yesterday because I had a feeling we wouldn't go any lower, and then I woke up this morning to pre-market and I was like, oh my god. But luckily we came back, we rallied. My options on FCell are doing well because I told you guys in my last video that if we came back down to around that $7.40 level, I would pick up some options, and I don't remember exactly the price, but yesterday end of day is when I bought those FCell options, $8 strike price, weeklies, and I got for the week after as well. So for next Friday and for this Friday, I did sell about half of the ones for this Friday already today because I was up, substantially on those, and I've kept the other half. See what kind of happens tomorrow there. So that's nice. Going through a couple of the other things I did, I bought QuantumScape yesterday actually because they had that short report that came out a while back. They fully went for another tank yesterday and the day before. We were at around $28 yesterday at end of day, and I said, all right, I'll hop in there. So I bought some shares there, and then today I actually, because I told you guys also in my last video that I would potentially be picking up some Oxy calls, because if the price went back down to around that $24 level, it did, and again I bought those about an hour and a half ago or so. So those are kind of some of the recent things I've been doing. I also picked up some more MVMD today, not at the lows but close to, and then I also picked up some Hillcrest Petroleum today at the lows as well, at the 0.19 level, and those are two that I want to talk to you guys about today, and two that I'm very bullish on. MVMD today brought out kind of this news article, or not really article, but this kind of report about some of their things that are in their pipeline right now that they're looking to bring out, like those cold chain results, FDA approval, etc., right, and for ivermectin and stuff, and so they just wanted to give us a little update there, and that made me extremely bullish again, and we're going to go through that report today actually and just go through some of the things there. So that's one of the things I want to do today. The other thing I want to do today is go through HEAT, Hillcrest Energy Technologies, right, because there's a lot of things going on there right now, and I want to talk to you guys about kind of where I see them moving forward, especially in that mergers and acquisition space, right? Because we see them continuously here now picking up new companies, kind of, well, not necessarily, but they're picking up intellectual property. They're buying stakes in certain companies, and we'll go through all that today, so we're going to talk about that. But really, I want to start off here by talking about Dogecoin, and I just want to talk to you guys about this for a second because we've constantly been seeing this buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Because we've seen it twice in Doge now, and the second time I did manage to catch it a little bit. So the first one was obviously Doge Day, right? Doge Day, all the hype, it was all the big rumor, we're going to run to $1, right? And then we tank from that. And then the SNL with Elon Musk, right? There was just too much hype around it. Everyone was saying, oh, Elon's going to come out as the Doge father. It's going to be this huge thing. And sure, it was a good SNL, episode and everything. And it was cool that they streamed it live, etc. But really, he made Doge tank in a way by saying that. And of course, there's that whole thing of always buying the rumor and selling the news these days. We see it with every single stock. For example, very good food company, constantly bringing out better revenues, better online sales, etc., and they're just tanking from it. Back a few months ago, we were at that $9 mark, and I did say we were at pretty high. We came back down, rallied again, and then here we are now, right? It's another classic buy the rumor, sell the news situation. And that's just kind of what the market is right now. So just watch out for that. watch out for the next rumor. When do we see a big run in something? Maybe take a little bit off the table then, because chances are when the news hits, we're going to drop. And that's what we saw in Dogecoin. I did sell a little bit of Dogecoin sort of at the 0.63 level before the SNL episode, or actually right at the beginning of it. And I just watched the price come tanking down. So keep that in mind and just do watch out for that. So now, next thing, I want to get into MVMD. I want to show you guys what the news report that they came out with today was, and it is fantastic, because here it is, right? And so they're really just giving us an update here about some of the current things that they're working on. And it's like I've been saying, where is all this news? Where is the substantial news that we want to see? And here it is, right here. It's not out yet, and none of it, right? But when we read through this, we're going to see how bullish all this really is, actually. And we'll start with the cold chain right here, right? The company has received the cold chain data from the Food and Drug Administration Polio Research Lab and is currently coordinating an analysis review session with the FDA and establishing the related communications. So again, we should see something here soon. They don't give a date or anything, but they're putting it together right now, so the FDA is going to be able to come out with the results basically there soon enough. And of course MVMD will do the same on their website, I'm sure. Now, what do we see for this? What could potentially happen here? Well, we know we've already had the preliminary stages where they were able to kind of have it be up to 25 degrees Celsius and not be affected. And sure, they were just preliminary trials, and here's the real thing, right? But hopefully, because of that preliminary stuff and everything, I think we should see good results from here. They tested up to 45 degrees Celsius, I believe. And so, I do see good things for here, even if we don't get up to 45 degrees Celsius, maybe around the 35 degrees Celsius, but I'm guessing it's going to be a successful trial on that. So again, coming out soon, and at the price we're at now, guys, again, like I said, I picked up some more today as well. Moving on, this, the BSL-4 COVID-19 clearance trial here, right? So again, they've tested on mice this is the whole thing, right? Is them testing on mice to see if ivermectin is effective against COVID. And so we're going to see that on either later this week or early next week. So again, we're going to get this news very, very soon here. And we could see a nice little run off of that. Now, the other thing I want to mention about that, actually, and we're going to stop here for a second, we're going to come back to this, but I really want to show you guys actually the chart for MVMD. Because if we take a look at this, look at how bullish this chart is. Let's go to the 1 hour here. So we literally have this ginormous falling wedge since basically the highs here. And this bottom trend line is just being so accurate. This point and this point were here. These two were not here when I drew this bottom trend line, right? And we can see we're just bouncing off this every single time. Now, we have news coming out either the end of this week or next week. And we have that cold chain coming out soon after. We'll go through the rest of them, but we have the husbandry animal trials coming out soon, dose sparing adjuvant coming out soon, and we have this huge falling wedge pattern that is so bullish, because if we get some news and we start running, we come up past this kind of upper trend line here, we could see a big run to the upside. Now, definitely speculation, definitely technical analysis here as well. And of course, it does rely on potentially good results. But guys, to me, that's extremely bullish. So that's where I'm putting my money. I'm probably way too heavily invested in MVMD right now throughout my entire portfolio. It is definitely close to, probably that 30 or 40% of my portfolio right now. And, I can't stop buying because I just see good things happening there, especially now with this news, right? I know people were getting weary. I was getting weary. Is any of this even real? Well, it seems that it is, and it does seem kind of too good to be true in some senses, but here it is. Here are, not the results yet or anything, but it shows that they are doing what they're saying they're doing. And I think because of that, because ivermectin's already approved drug, because they've already done some preliminary work with that cold chain, with that desiccated liposome, we could see some good things here soon. Hopefully some partnerships to come along with this good news, right? So yeah, anyways, really bullish here. So let's move on. We have the dose sparing adjuvant as well. They filed a patent for this. And that's also part of the reason why they can't share a lot of the information that they have, or any of their really how it all works, because if they do, then somebody else has the potential of taking that technology, and maybe not patenting it themselves, but even just using it, taking it from them, right? So that's kind of why they do have to stay a little bit sort of quiet about some of the things they're doing here. Now here, as we know, the company has done a study comparing this adjuvant to the company's new adjuvant here, right, for both IV and their intradermal, which is again, like that desiccated liposome there, evaluating the antibody responses following vaccination with fractional doses of IPV, comparing delivery with delivery types with IPV alone or adjuvanted. So again, we should see it by the end of May or early June, again coming up here pretty soon. And I've said, always, yes, these are coming soon, but when, right? Well, now we actually have some dates behind this. May or early June for this, right? May 17th or even this week. So, again, we're just seeing these things coming to fruition here, and it's amazing. Everything's kind of happening right now. So the husbandry animals here as well, we have the ivectisol 1%, right, versus current commercially available forms of treatment for parasites. And again, preliminary study results for Canada are anticipated in late June, and the preliminary results for Bangladesh are expected in early June. So again, not too far away here, about a month. And by that time, I think we're already going to have some of this other news as well, and the price is probably going to be higher, I'm guessing. Now, the husbandry animals, people don't really understand usually how big of a category this can be, but they have, there's really not much out there in terms of treating animals, especially smaller animals, successfully, and a lot of them have to be killed off. So this is really going to help in that category, not only farmers, but also, to save farmers a lot of money, but also because there wasn't really a way to do this for smaller animals, like some of the things they're testing on, like the poultry, right, and goat. And yes, they're testing on cattle as well. Now there, ivermectin was already used, right, but it's that viscous form, and you can't really inject smaller animals with that, and that's what's so bullish and so interesting about this that they're doing here, and why this is going to be like such a successful thing as well, although it's kind of like more in the boring kind of category. If you think about stocks, there's exciting stocks and not exciting stocks. Well, here you have categories that are exciting and categories that aren't, right? Cold chain, that's like a whoa, super exciting, and then husbandry animals seems like not that exciting, but really it is very, very bullish because of all the things that actually can be done with that. And then the oncology, this is obviously what they have filed recently, right? Their cancer patent there. From what I've read, it seems like this could actually be something that could really work as well. I'm not a scientist. I don't know really much about any of this, but from what it seems, from what I've read, it seems that results could be actually very, very promising for this. And those were not things that I read about MVMD. Those were articles that I read. And you can just look those up online, ivermectin cancer, whatever, type it in to Google. So that's kind of everything there. Now, quick sum up here. Even if one of these things doesn't work out, there's still a lot of other opportunities here for a lot of these other things to work out. And in my opinion, I think honestly, most of these things are going to be successful trials. And hopefully with that, like I said earlier, there's going to be some kind of licensing agreement or some kind of partnership to come along with that. Again, we do have that TSXV listing in a couple weeks, I'm assuming is coming up here. Apparently, that was already a week ago now, so apparently 2 more weeks, but we'll see when that actually happens. So yeah, very bullish on this, and that's kind of that. Now I do want to get into heat with you guys. I'm realizing I've already been talking for about 17 minutes here, and that's how fast it goes with stocks sometimes. You just keep talking. But yeah, I really want to get to Hillcrest with you guys a little bit here because, and there's a few interesting things to mention here. Now, this is the MD&A, right, from their 12 months ended, 2020. And I thought, I've read this before, but I just wanted to kind of make it clear to you guys here. Over the next 12-month period, the company will continue to transition from a hydrocarbon-based production company, oil company, to one including revenues from both hydrocarbon production and sales from developing, licensing, or selling accessible or owned clean energy technology and IP. The company intends to pursue global green energy opportunities. Now, down here, the company has been developing a green technology portfolio, which it expects to monetize in the future, both through sales of products and licensing of its technology. Now, why is that so interesting? Well, because I mentioned this in my last video as well, but because they've just hired Hillcrest Energy, or David Farrell, right, as a new strategic advisor for mergers and acquisitions specifically. Now, it seems like what they're looking to do here, and it's quite clear that this is what they're trying to do, is they're trying to pick up, different IP, different technologies from the clean energy space, and they're trying to own that and then turn that into a flourishing business here by selling products, by licensing, etc. Right, what we just read through there. So that's kind of what's going on here, and that's why, again, like I said last video, I'm pretty bullish on the fact that they've hired someone to do their M&As, and that's exactly why. Now, the last thing I wanted to get into with you guys is this right here. Now, this is the MOI for EV Deal Co, right, because Hillcrest Energy Technologies now wants to get into that EV charging space. And again, we see this M&A stuff that they're looking to do here come to fruition, right? Again, Hillcrest wants to take an initial 30% stake here, and they want to have an option to acquire another 21%, which again would give them 51% ownership and control of the company there. So perhaps that's what they want to do. The fact that they've gotten this deal is quite good, I think, as well, quite bullish. And they each want to contribute engineering expertise, IP, technologies, and the proposed transaction soon tend to jointly develop and commercialize new products and technologies, right? Good things moving forward here. I'm surprised as well at the price, right? We had that run in HEAT. We did have that run kind of right here, and we've talked about that in a prior video, why that was, because nobody could sell, and then we came back down when people could start to sell again, right? And we've actually come down lower now, and this is where you guys want to buy. If you're not in the stock yet, I think this is a good time to buy. I picked up shares again, like I mentioned earlier, this morning at around that 1.19 level. So again, I think we're going to continuously see some good news coming out of HEAT here as well. After coming down this far again, I'm shocked we came back down to kind of the 0.19 level. This is where I basically originally bought into the stock, and back then it was super bullish, and I still am even more bullish now. It's about 2 months later, and we've seen some runs, but we're back down at this level, and this is pretty much the ideal point in buying, unless we continue to tank. But if you look at kind of where the stock's been over the past 3 months or even longer, it really hasn't come down below this price here, and I don't think it will, especially with some of the developments that we might see soon, with what's going on with the M&As there, with what's going on with some of their other partnerships and where they might be headed here. So that's going to do it for the video today, guys. I hope you liked it. I know it was super long, but I had a lot to cover here. I haven't really posted a video since last week. Yeah, there was just a lot of news today, a lot of things to cover. So I just wanted to get to it all. Anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys on Friday. See you later.